People are rightfully alarmed. They have a reason to be alarmed. And if you would vote for that, people may not feel so confident that they're safe with you. This is not crazy. This is legitimate feelings of fear of you. And if you're voting affirmatively, gleefully for this, people might, may not feel so confident in you anymore. That's real, and you kind of have to live with it. So if you think that you can vote for what people see as their destruction and then demand that they still are cool with you and kiki with you and have Thanksgiving with you, I think you're kind of missing the point.
All right, folks, welcome back. Happy Monday, by the way. Happy Thanksgiving week. You just heard the latest Trump derangement syndrome-fueled rant from That Was Joyless Joy Reid, who's sounding less and less joyous by the day. She's advising us all to be very careful about who we spend our Thanksgiving with. Because you never know, some of the people you spend Thanksgiving with may have voted for Trump. Ooh, give me a break. How ironic that a lady named Joy is on social media trying to take the joy out of one of the most important holidays in our schedule. Let's get to rapid reactions right away. Well, it's exactly 20 days ago, the American people went out and decided that America will soon enter the no BS era. So naturally, the rabid Dems and lunatic elites are all going out of their way during Biden's final months. Take Wicked, the movie Wicked, for example. The movie is one of the most obsessed and discussed Hollywood projects in the world right now. And the cast, led by superstar singer Ariana Grande, are leaving little doubt about the dystopian society that they will soon miss.
Not to be corny, but make the world a safer place, especially right now, I think it's the most important work that we can do is learn how we can listen and be there for each other and the people that we love, and especially the most beautiful community in the entire world. And I love my queer brothers and sisters so much, more than anything.
We love you back.
We do.
Well, Oz is a very queer place and has always been.
Yeah.
Even from the L. Frank Baum books, it's always been queer.
Yeah.
But why does everything have to be queer? Can't anything just be normal? It's a movie for little kids, for God's sake. All this woke messaging, well, it's going to come back to haunt them, so to speak, with Wicked. It always does. Clearly, the message hasn't landed in Hollywood yet because Ariana Grande went further.
Every day in the Emerald City is a pride parade.
Oh my God,
right?
yeah.
I mean, look at
That's actually great.
But it's true.
Yeah.
Even the chickens. Those chickens are gay.
How do you know? How do you know if even the chickens are gay, they said? How do you even know? I don't understand this obvious effort to out-gay one another. I mean, what is Ariana Grande trying to gain? Besides, I'm pretty sure she's straight, so we've heard. Right, Pete Davidson? Do I need to remind you all about, oh God, don't tell me Pete Davidson's gay. Holy cow, really? BDE might be, I digress. We all warned you about Bud Light or Maersk, the company responsible for the Baltimore Bridge collapse, even Jaguar. Remember that car company we recently talked to you about without a car in their ad? Well, they've joined the list, and we have more on that story in just a minute. It keeps getting deeper. They keep digging and digging their grave deeper and deeper. When you're digging a grave, Jaguar, it's always good to hand someone the shovel. The point is very simple. Wokeness is a poison to society. Consumers have overwhelmingly rejected it, right? Bud Light, 4 words: go woke, go broke. This movie, well, I don't know if it's going to tank or not, but it certainly should. Let's move to the complete opposite end of the spectrum and talk about some anti-woke measures that I think will soon become the norm in America, thanks to Donald Trump. It was a big win, folks. Elections have consequences. The University of Austin, the city is very liberal. Austin, Texas is wildly conservative, but Austin, one of the most liberal cities in America, smacked right in the middle of the state of Texas. But the city of Austin, believe it or not, is trying to replace their DEI. Get rid of it. That concept is brilliant, right? They should be enforced at every university in America, they say. Listen to this, however, refreshing dose of normalcy from Austin.
As for admissions, UATX swaps DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, for what some call MEI, merit, excellence, and intelligence.
Gender, race, ethnicity, what is the factor of that in your admissions decisions?
We don't take any of that into consideration in admissions. The primary thing that we're interested in is the mind.
Meaning what?
The kind of capacity to think deeply, to answer questions, to challenge norm.
You know, it's amazing. Haven't we been saying this for 4 years under Biden and Obama and Biden and Harris? We've been saying the Democrats, liberal Democrats, these gay pride parades for kids, reading story hour in libraries for little babies, little children. It's not going to lick itself on the background when the trans were doing story hour for kids and the parents are laughing. It went too far. Austin, the liberal city in Texas, says we are going to replace DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, with meritocracy, equity, and inclusion, whatever else the other ones. Meritocracy. It's always been about. America was built on meritocracy. It's a free market. We're a free market bastion. We're not liberal diversity forced down our throats. For 4 years, it got really bad. Trump is bringing it back. But this, by Austin, is brilliant. This is exactly what America needs right now. Our once prestigious universities are in complete shambles now. They bought into it for too long, and now they don't know how to do it. Thankfully, Austin is giving them a roadmap to get out of the crap that they've forced down our kids' throats, our college kids' throats. They're full of underqualified, lazy government leeches who survived off their parents, these kids, and expect the government to fill that parental role once they wasted 4 years and a lot of their parents' money on campus. I'm all in for MEI, meritocracy, equity, inclusion. Fine, as long as I don't care what color you are, what gender you are. I don't even care if you're gay or not. Just be the right person for the job and the right person to get into the school. I'm all for MEI. This is how we make America great again. We need to bring back the days of actually working hard to get into a good school. Those students were the ones who pushed themselves to be great and absolutely did something with their education. DEI needs to go, especially in college admissions, and then in our business sector next. All that has to come from a wave of grown toddlers with degrees in lesbian dance theory who leave school and either work at Starbucks or become woke content creators that spew venom at Trump, at conservatives, or anyone who dares to say they're on board with Trump. Merit, excellence, intelligence, MEI, merit, excellence, intelligence should be the American standard once again. It always used to be. I could do an entire monologue on why this is a phenomenal idea. University of Austin, by the way, wow, continue to raise the bar. Good for you. Good on you, as they say. Speaking of DEI, let's talk a little bit about it. Another failed Biden cabinet member who only got the job because he's gay. That's right. Mayor Pete, I'm talking about you, my friend. Remember when this tool in the tool shed was tasked with overseeing the rollout of electric vehicles, EV charging stations? This is unbelievable. The Biden regime sank $7.5 billion of your dollars, $7.5 billion taxpayer dollars into this EV project, charging stations. 4 years down the road, 4 years, $7.5 billion, they produced 8 stations, 8 charging stations, almost $1 billion each. A lot of questions about this one. First of all, if you only have 8 charging stations, if they were ever created at all, what did the administration do with the $7.5 billion? Any idea? Because Tesla supercharger costs less than $50,000 to install. 50 grand, not $1 billion. So let's do some simple math here. Joe Biden and Pothole Pete could have built a 10-stall supercharger station for less than 50 grand. That's 10 individual chargers, already 2 more than they got for $7.5 billion. They could have done it for $500 million. I'm sorry, $500,000, $500,000 for 10 stations. $500,000 for 10 stations. For $7.5 billion, Joe Biden got $8 billion. Of course, that would involve siding with Elon Musk, though, right? And investing in Elon Musk's successful technology, which the Biden administration refused to do once Elon endorsed Trump and restored free speech. $7.5 billion taxpayer money we wasted. They wasted your money. We still don't know how or why, and we have nothing to show for it. No receipts. The irony behind all this is that it'll be Elon Musk who, as a member of Team Trump, Doge, Department of Government Waste Killing, will be tasked with finding out where that money went. And I hope they find out where it went and they arrest the sons of bitches that stole it, because they stole your money. As Elon cuts down on government waste, Trump and the rest of his team will be tackling DEI and wokeness in America. Trump is reportedly planning on signing an executive order to remove all transgender troops from the U.S. military within days of his inauguration. Let's face it, folks, under Joe Biden, the military became a joke. Our military, the U.S. military, the baddest mother effers on the planet, became a joke. You remember all those stupid DEI commercials trying to recruit troops with the men dressed as women and that ridiculous transgender thing they have in the Navy at the top, Admiral whatever, Levine? It's been a joke. Our military's become a joke under them. I never thought I'd see the day where the United States military, the mightiest and the proudest group in the world, became an international laughingstock. But give it to Biden, give it to Democrats, they'll screw everything up. People may be split on this decision by Trump, but I'm all for it, and here's why. There are wars everywhere right now. We're going out everywhere in the war. We're spending money in every freaking conflict under Joe Biden. And Joe has done nothing but dump gasoline on this international fire. He's pissed off global adversaries, and he's depleted our military by shipping off our money and our weapons to Ukraine. Not to mention the ridiculous COVID-era mandates that Biden used to send real soldiers home. They didn't take a shot, they went home. They got fired. And the Afghanistan withdrawal, which is not one of the most embarrassing moments, is the most embarrassing failure in American military history, thanks to Joe Biden. In simpler terms, the military has become a mess under Biden at a really bad time with all these conflicts going on. Donald Trump absolutely has to make our military a force to be reckoned with again. The United States, how about this? Make our military a force again. Make our military, MOFA? The United States needs to regain its international might, and Trump is well aware of this and on its way. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump starts to improve the military on day one. Remember what he did the first time? We ran out of ammo under Barack Obama. Trump came in, first thing he did to the military, he bought like 5 million rounds of ammo because our military was depleted ammo. Imagine having the baddest ass military in the world with no ammo to shoot. Oh, these Democrats, because under Biden, thanks to Biden, World War III could start at any given moment. He's still got, a month and a half to do it. My final reaction to today is a story that we've been discussing since day one, the fiasco over a Jaguar. They went woke with their hideous new ad, and the guy who oversees their marketing is a lunatic, some lunatic freak with nail polish. That dude figured it out. People are now making a mockery of the company's new approach. So for the lack of better words, buckle up, buttercups. Take a look at this. You just can't make it up, folks. Bud Light learned their lesson the hard way. Jaguar's about to. That's pure gold, Jaguar. Welcome to the crazy club. Y'all heard my gut reaction when I first saw that new ad. I told you all the investors should sell immediately. Folks, if you haven't taken that advice yet, time is still on your side for a moment. Their stock value is already spiraling out of control down. Money talks, BS walks. Eventually, these companies will learn. But for now, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the death of wokeness in America, $1 at a time. Yeah, I've read it before, and I'm going to read it again because my good friends at Goya, Bobby Nonway, has put together quite a group at Goya. Because in 2021, Goya launched Goya Cares. It's a global initiative to protect children and educate children on mental health. Goya Cares is providing schools and community centers with a preventative education curriculum and a free assembly that includes the viewing of the movie Goya Cares Press Pause. Press Pause is intended to raise awareness regarding mental health issues, abuse, and bullying among children, teens within our communities. Press Pause is an educational film following 15-year-old Sofia Rodriguez as she navigates the tough world of adolescence, self-doubt, an abusive relationship amid her parents' turbulent divorce, set within the cultural context of her Hispanic family. The film explores her discomfort with unwanted attention from her uncle and the pressures of maintaining a facade of perfection in high school. It introduces the Press Pause campaign, promoting kindness and advocacy, highlighted by Sophia leaving a note saying, "You matter," for a bullied peer. The film encourages open family communication about mental health and culminates in Sophia's transformative realization of her right to seek help through the power of empathy and small acts of kindness. Press Pause displays the importance of being proactive in supporting one's community and underscores the critical importance of self-advocacy. All right, folks, time for today's Truth Bomb. All right, time for the Truth Bomb, folks, where it's always real and always truthful. The radical left loves to make a big deal about Trump dancing on the campaign trail, right? Yet global leaders love to dance typically as their countries burn to the ground. Take, for example, Justin Trudeau, who was showing off his friendship bracelets at a Taylor Swift concert, by the way, while rioters destroyed his country. Look at that. Look at that. That's the riots. Meanwhile, Justin Trudeau was dancing at a Taylor Swift concert. This idiot dances like his life depends on it, yet he doesn't have a minute to condemn the hate going on in his own country. Of course, he isn't the first hypocritical leader to dance gleefully as their country suffers. Emmanuel Macron was caught dancing at an Elton John concert while France was getting ravaged by riots. People were lighting up schools and school buses, police stations, town halls, all while their president was kicking it at a concert. Well, Obama's had themselves a great little time, but guess what? That little Barack Obama birthday party was during COVID. They were caught on camera dancing without masks at a packed-out party for Barry's 60th. Of course, the rest of us were literally bound to our homes with our masks on, going to get fired if we walked out of the house, and certainly fired if we didn't get a vaccine mandated by them. But global leaders like Barack Obama had no problem throwing down with celebrities, as we were told, to mask up. The rules for thee, not for me. The list goes on and on. I guess the truth here is that dancing is a form of celebration. You dance when you win. So Trump, dance away. But when your country is literally on fire, maybe consider doing something about it. I don't know. Just a thought. Truth Bomb. Old habits die hard. Old habits die hard, and Democrats love to seize on it every chance they get. In fact, this is the particular person saying it that really crystallized it all for me. Listen.
This small Republican majority is going to have to keep their entire caucus together. And what we know is that the House Republican caucus is not known for its unity. Over the last 2 years, they have been a caucus of chaos, and they've relied on Democrats to be the responsible governing party.
That's right, I said his point is a rebranding of what's actually happening, but nonetheless, sit up and pay attention because old habits die hard. Here's what I'm saying. We've made it this far, and we've made it very far, in fact. There was a point in time with helicopters blaring over Mar-a-Lago. There was a point in time when we didn't know if we're going to make it, actually. The lawfare was just that aggressive. President Trump walking in and out of that New York courtroom day in and day out, the hearing to rightfully disqualify Fani Willis, the assassination attempts, it was relentless and never ending. In this period right now we find ourselves in, well, it seemed like we would just never get here. But MAGA was unwavering, and we made it to this point. We made it, and now is the time to kill off the Democrat-instilled madness of the past 4 years. Don't let it live. Get rid of it. I mean, Joe Biden, in all his deranged, senile glory, may actually believe the words he manages to sputter.
One thing I've always believed about public service, and especially the presidency, is the importance of asking ourselves, have we left the country in better shape than we found it? And tonight, I can say with all my heart, the answer to that question is a resounding yes because of you.
Does he really actually believe that BS that he says the country's better off now than when he took over? Is he seeing Jackie, the dead congresswoman, in the room again? Is he that deranged? The end. That's over. The delusions of grandeur, the lying to our faces. This is the end of the craziest, most America-killing era of our lifetime, certainly maybe even ever. It's time to put a full end to the Democrat madness. Just put it out of its misery. Yes, but also time to weed out the Trojan horses in our own party, too. Well, let me explain. Pay close attention, because old habits die hard. On the left, sure, but within the conservative side as well. And I use that term loosely, conservative. Let's put it within the Republican side as well. MAGA won, but the battle has just begun. Senator Mitch McConnell, a well-known Trump critic, is out as Senate Majority Leader, but who takes his place? Senator John Thune, another known critic of Trump. And what does Thune do? Well, Thune picks Mitch McConnell to head the very important Senate Rules Committee. Make no mistake about it, they're doing everything they can to block Trump from implementing his agenda. And how exactly is this man right here allowed to lead anything at all? Watch.
Cooperation and a string of
Let's come out of that for a second. Just keep watching, because that goes on for quite a while. That's Mitch McConnell freezing. And his aide had to come here up to the podium and make sure he was alive or coherent, which he wasn't coherent. Deep state. The deep state has become the walking dead. McConnell shouldn't be head of any committee, let alone the Senate Rules Committee. He should be heading up his retirement home committee instead. And notice Thune standing behind him. Think about not just the ailing person desperately holding on to power. Think about those who keep them there, prop them up, help them cover it all up. They're complicit. And why? So why? For what reason? Always for power. So Thune just kept his mouth shut. And he ends up being Senate Majority Leader. And they did that, by the way, before the new senators could be confirmed and put a real MAGA senator in place. That's what you need. Damn, Thune. This is exactly what so many millions, 77 million Americans, in fact, voted for, to get rid of these swampy, shady, backdoor BS deals. Mitch McConnell should be nowhere near Congress at all, ever again. And yet, he simply steps aside as Majority Leader, essentially hands it to a disciple, and gets another cushy adjacent leadership role. And then Thune takes it one step further. Thune picks Maine Senator Susan Collins, an absolute rhino and a huge Trump detractor. Collins said she was already going to vote no on Matt Gaetz before it came up. She's already talking about no on other of Trump's picks. But Thune picks Collins to chair the very powerful Senate Appropriations Committee. One of the most powerful committees, if not the. It's all about the money, right? As someone who has been deeply buried in the ongoing deep state shenanigans, this is textbook to me. Thune becomes Majority Leader. McConnell becomes the chair of the Rules Committee. The Rules Committee makes the rules for the Senate. And Susan Collins becomes the Appropriations Chair. 3 known anti-MAGA senators running the show. That, folks, is the deep state in action right there, right before your eyes. Old habits die hard. And look, I know things are different this time around. This is President Trump's second go-around, and this is it. These are his last 4 years. When he came in the last time, there were those things they had to learn. They knew about the swamp, but they had to learn, and they had to pick from people that he wasn't sure if they were MAGA or not. And he made some mistakes, let's be honest. He'll admit to it, he made some mistakes. Well, he may not, but we know he did. This Trump is light years ahead of the 2016 administration. Let's not forget, before the sense and fortitude of Donald Trump became clear to most of the Republican Party, there was resistance. We remember it. We know it well. It was on full display. There were those who resisted and came around, but he had to see it and experience it for himself. The swamp and deep state were in full effect, built up further by the corruption built by the Clintons and carried through by one Barack Obama. That was a whole lot of crap for Trump to sift through in his first term. It was clear from the get-go with Trump's pick of Mike Pence, and it was reflected in his cabinet picks at the time. It became clear quickly these people were not on board with what Trump was trying to accomplish for America. America first became the red line through everything he did, our borders, our economy, our foreign policy. He knew what he was trying to achieve. He just didn't have the right people around him to help him do it. He was new to D.C. He didn't know a soul when he went there. And he couldn't trust anybody. What a different world we live in now, 8 years later. But behold, old habits die hard. The good news is President Trump has a long and very specific agenda, and he's leading that agenda with more than half of America fully behind him. He has a Congress that trusts him. He knows exactly who to pick now to help him carry out and fulfill that agenda, and therefore he's filling out positions, and he filled out his cabinet in 18 days, the quickest it's ever been done. Trump 2024 is surrounded by a right-wing counter-elite with all the knowledge, wealth, power, and prestige to advance his agenda through all of our institutions. The potential magnitude is why so many Americans are gleefully doing the Trump dance on our city streets, on college campuses, on football fields, even on the other side of the Atlantic. Hell, even in China. This is a Trump who will enact real change on day one. This is a Trump who is light years ahead of the 2016 administration. But old habits die hard.
Does anything about her concern you?
Well, we'll have lots of questions. She met with Bashir Assad. We'll want to know what the purpose was and what the direction for that was. As a member of Congress, we'll want to get a chance to talk about past comments that she's made and get them into full context. So sure, there's comments that are floating out there, but we want to be able to know the rest of the story.
That was this week in Oklahoma, Republican Senator, by the way, Republican Senator James Lankford there. Now, here's the thing. I'm not suggesting that those in high-level advisory positions shouldn't be properly vetted. They should. But this is what they're talking about when they talk about a uniparty. A uniparty. The traditional, the establishment, like Lankford, the establishment, they don't like Trump. And so they'll undermine his picks quietly. And they'll go on CNN with Dana Bash and tout leftist talking points. That's literally leftist propaganda he spewed on Dana Bash to the liberals watching CNN. If the left is calling you a Russian asset, you're in the way of their agenda. If the left is saying that you're collaborating with Russia, then you're in the way of the deep state and their dreams. Tulsi Gabbard has said time and time again that we should do everything in our power to prevent World War III, that we should scale back or end conflict however possible. And that is scaring the living daylights out of the establishment. If I may, right for a second here. About a month and a half ago, I was on the stage with Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr. It was a anti-war protest, not a protest, but a rally in Washington, D.C. Rage against the war machine. We all spoke. Tulsi Gabbard is not a warmonger. Tulsi Gabbard wants to keep us out of wars, as does RFK Jr., as do I, libertarian here. That's a core component of Trump's 2024 agenda, by the way. And Tulsi Gabbard represents that agenda exactly. I get why Democrats would be doing everything in their power, in their swampy power, to stop her. But why would Republicans do it like Lankford? Why would Republicans like Lankford go on CNN with Dana Bash and bash Tulsi Gabbard, who's got to go through the Senate hearing? Why would he do that? Democrat Denver Mayor Mike Johnston is already saying that his city will not comply with Trump's planned deportations. And we would absolutely expect that kind of self-righteousness from a party and a leader that cares more about their flawed principles and control than the safety and prosperity of their own constituents in Denver.
I would certainly protest it, and I would expect other residents would do the same.
Trump's new borders czar, Tom Homan, has said that he is willing to arrest leaders like yourself for standing in the way of these policies that they want to enact. Would you be willing to go to jail for these things?
Yeah, I'm not afraid of that. And I'm also not seeking that. You know, Ralph Carr has always been one of my heroes. He was the governor who, in the middle of the internment of Japanese Americans, said this was the wrong thing to do. And he stood up. It was unpopular. People were mad at him about it. That was in the middle of wartime. If the president or any of his actors are going to do things that we think are illegal or immoral or un-American, we'll stand up against them.
Hey, Mayor of Denver, why don't you ask your constituents? Why don't you ask the people who live in your apartment buildings if they like the Tren del Aqua thugs, terrorists that are banging down their doors, Mayor? And by the way, you can't compare that to internment camps in the Japanese after World War II. You can't do that. It's not the same. These people came over and broke the law. They came over and broke the law. They're not being interned. They're not being held against their will. We're trying to get them back to their own freedoms and their own stinking countries. This right here is how you deal with the likes of Denver, Mr. Denver Snowflake.
That the mayor of Denver, if he's going to resist federal law, which there's a long-standing history of the supremacy of federal law, if he's going to resist that, it will go all the way to the Supreme Court. And I would suspect that he would be removed from office. I don't know whether or not there'd be a criminal prosecution for someone resisting federal law, but he will lose. And people need to realize that what he is offering is a form of insurrection, where the states resist the federal government. Most people objected to that and rejected that long ago. So I think the mayor of Denver is on the wrong side of history, and really, I think will face legal ramifications if he doesn't obey the federal law.
Rand Paul's right, wrong side of history, but maybe the mayor of Denver will be on the wrong side of a jail cell pretty soon. But we already knew that Democrats all over America would do everything in their power, or not in their power, meaning illegally and unconstitutionally, to stop any MAGA agenda whenever they can, wherever they can. We expect that, and we know that. We also know that the leftist media propaganda machine would still be at it. Look at this. Look no further than this Atlantic headline, and I'm quoting, "Trump is building the most anti-Semitic cabinet in decades. Donald Trump has vowed to defeat anti-Semitism. His cabinet picks tell a very different story," says the Atlantic. Trump derangement syndrome. I guess the Hitler and fascist thing didn't work out so well for the Atlantic, so now they've apparently dialed it down to just anti-Semitic to see if there's any takers there. By the way, this from the left, many of whom have outright supported Hamas terrorists, right? Some of whom sit in congressional seats in our very own government. Ilhan Omar, the Squad, and I just absolutely almost vomited at that Atlantic headline and the articles. And yet, no, they had nothing to say about the actual anti-Semitism that is actually going on within Congress. Blame it on Trump, call him Hitler, anti-Semite, which he's not. His daughter is a Jew. He loves Jared. Jared Kushner was one of the most important advisors to Trump in the first time around, maybe in the second time around again. I don't know. First flight from Tel Aviv into Arab territory happened under Trump. Abraham Accords happened under Trump. He's an anti-Semite. Okay. Yeah, so Democrats and their entire leftist machine will continue to be hard at work to try and stop the Trump and MAGA agenda to fix the damage that they already did. After all, the snowflakes can't handle hard work going down the drain that they've worked at so long to paint Trump as anti-Semite. But we certainly can't have members of our own party joining them. There's enough opposition to the MAGA agenda on the left. Now is not the time to be splintering us further on the right. The battle may be won, folks, but it's a full-blown war ahead. Now, we always like to leave you with something kind of funny, just to lighten the mood a little bit. Someone sent this to me. I just think this is just perfect. This is just perfect. Just watch.
Are you distraught after the recent presidential election? Here at Don't Cry Cryo, we understand your pain, and we're here to help. Our expert team of cryogenic care providers can cryogenically freeze you until the Trump presidency has ended. No more crying, no more anxiety attacks, just blissful sleep until Trump is gone. When you awaken from your slumber, we'll even have a party ready and waiting for you. It will be like his presidency never even happened. It was all just a bad dream. As an added bonus, you can choose the Vance add-on package. We'll extend your sleep for an additional 4 years at a 50% discount in the event J.D. Vance wins the next presidential election. Everything will be okay. We're here to take care of you in your time of need. So remember, don't cry, cryo.
Where am I? Oh, please tell me it's over. Wait, something isn't right.
This is your captain, Elon Musk. I want to be the first one to welcome you to Mars. Sorry, Donald Trump Jr. was just elected president, and he deported all Don't Cry Cryo customers to Mars.
What the?
It's a pretty good idea, right? Send them all to Mars. Send them on a Starlink rocket ship. All right, folks, that's it for us on Monday. As always, we'll have news breaks. We'll be back with you. But see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow will be, 3 weeks exactly to the day that Donald Trump has been President-elect Donald Trump. See you tomorrow.